Jubilee 2021. last year was it was fun last year. It was stressful, because of the whole COVID thing, but everybody enjoyed it. It was so laid back.
Yeah,
It was just
it worked out, and again, that's what it is. I mean, if you gather, you're gonna have a good time. So
and all
it's about what it's about. So nothing
yeah.
else really matters. So whoever is actually there, they get it. So it's all good, man. It doesn't.
Everybody that was there had a good time. They wanted to be there.
Everybody had that decision to make. There's no worries if you stayed home. Stay home.
Yeah.
It's not a
Really,
problem.
really glad you came out
Yeah.
because you're. How long you been doing the Jubilee now? How long you been?
Oh shoot, that gets too blurry.
Too blurry.
I want to say 5 or 6.
Only 5 or 6 years.
I think so. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Because you've done a lot of announcing. I remember
But
growing up.
I've been to so many Jubilees, it gets.
Yeah.
I forget what year it was, man.
Who asked you to step
It
up?
actually, because I know that it would have been. It was right around the last year's that George Lazo was involved, and it was when Jaylene first took over, basically, and Troy Brajas approached me to see if I
Sweet.
wanted to help out. So
Yeah, Troy always asks about you every year. You're gonna get Bogio out.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's it. But like I say, because it blurs because I've been going to it for years, and I've never got to climb in those cleats, but man, all my buddies, and I've just and from young age watching the guys in that, man, I have a huge admiration and respect for the tug of war, man, and you talk about, goodness gracious, harder and harder to find enough, and it's fair enough that it is, because you are, man, guys are missing work afterwards and things like that, because it shows you the grit and determination, though, and that's a lot of people wouldn't understand it. That's why it's worth it. That's
It's priceless.
They're putting themselves in those blocks and doing that to themselves, and it connects them to every iota of history in those ever come together, and it's like, so that's why every year, no matter what, no matter how long the show or how good a guy's or bad a guy, whatever, it's still a part of that thing, that it's just connecting all this history together, and it's the focal point of keeping the whole thing alive. And I pretty much believe a lot of these long pulls, I believe it is the connection where these guys, they feel the souls and the energy of what is around them, and that's, we get some spectacular shows. It's just like, so, man, I'm in. I love it. I love that. So I think that's my favorite Sunday of the year.
Oh, there's not a carnival again this year. It's like, well, it's not what it's about. You really gotta be a part of every aspect of it and find out how it all works, because it's from the Queens. One of the hardest, difficult parts about it, getting some girls to come out and then sell those tickets, to make the money to even have it in the first place, to do we have enough guys in the cleats? That's what it is. Those two mechanisms, and we don't have that. We don't necessarily have a Tuolumne Lumber Jubilee.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, yeah, the fact that we just are keeping it going. I don't know about everything else that's going on, but
Yeah.
Carnival's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, carnivals are fun to have.
And I think we'll get it. We'll get one back next year. I just got to find good people to come up with the carnival.
We got the beer booth, right?
So far, so good. So far, so good. So California.
They go after that. We're gonna have some serious
right.
issues.
And that was the California and the governor and everything has all the liquor license on lockdown until June 15th. But we've already started the process. We've got the vendor that provide the beer. The sheriff signed off on it. That's a whole other contract. They want sheriffs out on Saturday and to balance it, and I got to pay their overtime and stuff like that. But so far, so good. As long as June 15th comes around and the government doesn't shut us down anymore, then the beer booth's coming. So we got the beer booth. We still have vendor spots available. We've got 7, 8 taken so far. That's only half the East Side Park. This year, it's without the carnival, I've done a lot of different things. Like I'm planning in the middle of where the concrete is. I'm sectioning off a whole area, putting 4 jumpers for the kids. I'm getting games for the kids out in the grass area. So there'll be a single point of entry, so kids can kind of sign in, go in and play, and then the parents can walk around or whatever.
Right on.
The kids will be right there. I'm working on with Tuolumne County Rec to get the pool open all weekend and free. I want to open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then free entry.
Yeah,
so we're trying to cover that and finalizing. They need to come with a contract, tell me how much, and we'll pay for it and have it done. So we have that going. And then one of the nicer things about this year is we're going to have official, I want to say official, but it's official arm wrestling. A guy from down in the Modesto area, Turlock.
Sanctioned arm wrestling, I guess.
Yeah, like they have like they call them arm bender clubs all throughout the state. So a guy from one of the arm bender clubs called me up and said, "Hey, I want to run your arm wrestling this year." So have somebody come up and say, "Hey, I want to run something." Great, man. What can I do to facilitate and help you make it happen? So we'll probably have about at least 60 pullers or arm wrestlers, that is, and maybe 150 people from all around the state come in Saturday afternoon after the parade to do arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So
that should be a good draw.
Yeah.
The whole deal.
We'll have seating. We'll have easy ups. To where you can sit down and watch them. It'll be on the concrete, but it'll all be all easied up.
Yeah.
And all covered, so it's gonna work out really good.
Can't wait, man. I'm ready.
Got Colleen, Leslie, and Amy running the parade in the car show. Thanks to Leslie's heavy haul a couple years back. I think it was Fat Bob passed away.
Yeah.
And then Colleen was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a car show," and then it's like, that's awesome. It's not just a parade now. Now we're having somebody with that heart to make it better, and so that's working out again. Queens have done awesome this year. We've had, the Queens are a monster in themselves, just like the tug of war. We've worked through some issues, but probably one of our biggest years. I can't drop numbers right now because they're still bringing it in, but everybody's going to be astounded when we see these last numbers. Yeah. It's just I started off around 10,000 from the previous years holdover, and now it's in the veterans, or it's under the veterans nonprofit now. So we don't have to worry about doing our own taxes and things like that. It's all under community program for the veterans, and so that part of paperwork we don't have to worry about no more as a community. So that's helpful that the vets back us up that way this year. And so I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I can't wait till it's done. It's the guys that run it. I mean, it's like, from Jaylene to Bobby to all the past guys. It's a lot.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And it's a lot of stress. Like, it better happen, or why did it not happen?
Man. Yeah. Yeah, because the show must go on, man. That time comes upon you, and there's nothing that holds that back, man. It's either happening or not. So, yeah.
And then for everybody to show up and do their part. It seems like you don't get a lot of volunteers up to date, but then the weekend comes and everybody, because it's a tradition.
Yeah,
they come out
show up and ready to work, man.
You got to know this is what we do. And like the Burns, for example, have been a part of judging for umpteen years. That's just a small tradition in itself, is always having a Burns out there with a stopwatch and helping doing the judging.
Heck yeah. Like I say, I can't, man. I just can't wait for all the hot saws and everything, because even that was a pretty decent show last year. That 2 years ago for sure, man. The hot sauce showed up, and that's a great time. But what about so are we able to go with Bull of the Woods this year?
Yeah, I've got it on the schedule.
Cool.
That's one of those you just gotta get these guys out and to get up there on the log and do it.
Yeah.
My stepdad won in '86. I still got a picture on. It's a big family thing, big deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would have seen that. So I thought some of the best were in the late '80s and into the mid '90s, man.
Big guys.
There was some great battles on that log, man. I've seen some dandies. That was obviously a huge draw to want to make sure you were there in time to be able to see that going down.
Get the Bull of the Woods right into the tug of war. I mean, that's the baddest parts of
it gives you your whole manly. Yeah, it's got it all.
The last cleated tug of war. I mean, I've done some internet searches. I've tried to type in cleated tug of war. It's non-existent. Right. It's non-existent. It's kind of crazy to think, like, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, it was a statewide thing, and now we're the last one. We're really the last one.
Yeah, and again, that's in it. It's one of those things I like to talk about is in the fact where people just, I mean, you can't the exertion and effort that these guys put out, because I've heard too many people kind of like the same idea of there's nothing to do here, is like, oh, that's kind of boring, there are guys just laying in the cleats, and it's like, you're very lost, you're very true enough, there's this it's not a really action packed, okay, but and that's the thing, the way that ends is the first guy that falls, not the team. It's that, and every one of them holding that rope are so determined to not be that guy that lets go of that grip, and it's that whole idea of how the mind over everything else is it's absolute. I mean, it's just too much stories, evidence that it just proves it. And you can, when you find that place to lock into it, the exertion that they put themselves through it's literally mind-boggling. Some of the times the times I've seen Kenny Whitley come out of those cleats, man, and you just get every single, there's nothing he did not leave behind. And I could say there's tons of names, but it's just like that at that point, man, when you do, if you have to, it's very insulting not to stick around to see what they go through coming out of that, because it's pretty unreal, man, and people, and it deserves a lot of respect. And again, the more people that are there, the more energy. Crowds are energy, man. It's batteries, right? The more you have, the more you give to them, and the more they can do. So it's like, it's so important to get people out there. And I'm hoping that everybody sees this as that path back to community and togetherness, and just go through this all together.
The pinnacle of human experience. And, why it's a simple task, but it's more than that. It's beyond everything else. It's pushing your limits. It's priceless. It's hard for words to explain.
And I'm sure I wonder, there must be some pretty good ahead of time interest in the axe throwing, right? And again, I love all of this. There's nothing. Talking about chainsaws running and axe flying. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
there's not nothing I dislike. But I mean, over the years, watching the axe competition come around, with Steve Black's involvement and just caliber of guys that come here, and people that watch and say, hey man, I think I could do that. And you working with kids from the college community that obviously they don't know very much about this environment at all, and get intrigued to do this that it's huge. And sometimes I've heard a few people about, it takes up so much time. That's what we want. We want to spend the day together, man. We don't want to wrap this thing up. So come on, get out there, man. Start throwing an axe.
Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it, man. Yeah, and they're proving it. They're showing up. So believe me, man. Don't feel like you don't want to get involved because you think it makes it too many people or something, because it doesn't, man. It's wonderful to see that many people involved, and that's one of the aspects of that world. Not everybody's going to just jump over there and chainsaw a log or run over logs and set chokers. That's just not happening. But again, like you say, just strong enough to hold and get that axe to do a flip in the air, and you could be a part of that. So I love seeing its popularity, and I'm looking forward to seeing it expand some more this year. I sure hope, man.
Yeah.